Greetings all, Nick and Justin here from Those Hairy Gamers, continuing our Ixalan full set review. How you doing, Justin?
Doing good.
Go for the throat, Justin. We're doing vampires next. We have the Conquistador invading army that wants to defeat the Empire of the Sun, and the flavour and everything is very cool with these vampires. For the first time, we have mono-white vampires.
Yeah.
All of the vampires are mono-white, black, or a mixture of both. And yeah, just really cool flavour with these Ixalan vampires.
I like the idea of these vampires coming into white. It's really interesting flavour-wise.
They're religious zealots and they only feast upon the blood of the unworthy or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which happens to be every other creature in Ixalan. But let's not talk about that. But still, yeah, I love the Conquistador religious overtones. It works so well with vampires, and I'm very keen for this. The first card we have, starting with commons and moving up in rarity and alphabetical order, is Anointed Deacon for 4 and a black. He's a 3/3 vampire cleric. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may have target vampire gain +2/+0 until end of turn.
Costs too much.
It costs too much is the answer to that. I love that ability. I just think it's on a too expensive body.
Bishop's Soldier. 1 and a white for a 2/2 vampire soldier with lifelink.
Okay, French vanilla.
Yeah.
It'll get played in draft, but that's pretty much it. Encampment Keeper is a 1/1 hound for 1 white. First strike. This is one of the cycle of the common creatures that have an activated ability for 8 mana. 7 white, tap and sacrifice Encampment Keeper. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until end of turn. So it could be a big swing if you're going real wide with vampires. This could be a one-of in a vampire standard deck. Possibly.
Hierophant's Chalice. 3 mana for an artifact. When Hierophant's Chalice enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Tap, add 1 mana to your mana pool.
Yeah, I like that we have pinging directly to our opponent's face. It's very relevant with these current vampires. It's like Manalith, except the mana doesn't help you at all with colours. And it has the ping to the face, and I don't think that's good enough. No. I think Manalith is just strictly better. Legion Conquistador for 2 and a white. This is a 2/2 vampire soldier. When Legion Conquistador enters the battlefield, you may search your library for any number of cards named Legion Conquistador. Reveal them, put them into your hand, and shuffle your library. This is a bad Squadron Hawk, pretty much. A 2/2 for 3 is not good. Yeah, I get that you can get card advantage out of this, but I don't think it's good enough to justify playing 2/2 for 3. That's just the reality of it.
We also have Legion's Judgment. 2 and a white for a sorcery. Destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. Good against dinosaurs.
Very good against dinosaurs, and I like that horse too. Hope that comes in the next set. Paladin of the Bloodstained for 3 and a white. It is a 3/2 vampire knight. When Paladin of the Bloodstained enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. That's okay. 4/3 across 2 bodies for 4 mana. One of them has lifelink. Not good enough to be competitive, but you'll be happy to draft this because you get 2 vampires on the table.
Yeah.
For that reason alone, you've got relevant keywords on creatures.
Pious Interdiction. 3 and a white for an enchantment aura. Enchant creature. When Pious Interdiction enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life. Enchanted creature can't attack or block. It's a more expensive pacifism. Realistically, cast out is better.
Yeah, in draft it's okay. Life gain's relevant with vampires. I get that. It's just not good enough. Queen's Agent is a 5 and a black 3/3 vampire scout with lifelink. When Queen's Agent enters the battlefield, it explores. This is a pretty below curve explore card.
I was just going to be like, this is just bad.
Yeah, pretty much. It's a 6 cost, potentially 4/4 with lifelink. Not good enough. 6 cost, 3/3 with lifelink that gets you a land. Not good enough. It might be okay for draft if you happen to really want that explore stuff. You probably won't play it in a vampire deck, though.
Queen's Commission. 2 and a white for a sorcery. Create 2 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink.
This is the new theme with vampires.
Yeah, all the tokens.
This is pretty much the main thing they're trying to go for. 3 cost at sorcery speed is not ideal. The problem with this is probably the most reliable way of getting tokens into your vampire deck. And it's not particularly good. It's just middle of the road. And that's the biggest problem I have with vampire tokens at the moment.
The problem I have with the vampire creatures are that they just have lifelink. Like, I understand that a token having lifelink and flying is too powerful.
Yes, some of them have vigilance. That's another sub theme they have amongst them, but mostly lifelink. Ritual of Rejuvenation for 2 and a white. It's an instant. You gain 4 life and draw a card. It's all right. It's all right. You know, life gain is never that exciting. Drawing a card's exciting.
Yeah.
For a 2/1 that replaces itself, it's average. You'll play this if you're really struggling for spells, but I think there's much better options.
Skyblade of the Legion, 1 and a white for a 1/3 vampire soldier with flying.
Feels on curve. I like it. Very draftable. Probably not for standard play. We've got some really nice 2-drop vampires, but it's relevant. If you're building the Favourable Winds deck, it actually might be good. Skymarch Bloodletter for 2 and a black is a 2/2 with flying. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. I quite like this. I think at common this is quite a nice card. It's a 3-cost 2/2 with flying. That's decent. Relevant creature type makes it better. And picking your opponent's face is relevant as a subtype amongst these vampires.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of cool stuff going on for it. It's not particularly below curve or anything. It's pretty much just on where you want it to be.
Vampire Zeal, 1 white instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. If it's a vampire, it gains first strike until end of turn. A very nice little combat trick.
Yeah, this is the white. This is the pushed white common in this set. I love this.
Yeah.
This also helps push up white vampires, which is obviously a new thing. So for it to permeate into Modern at all, we need good white vampire cards, and this, I feel, could be one of them. Combat Trick's not so relevant in Modern, probably more for Standard, but this is good. This is really good. I like this card a lot. Vanquish the Weak for 2 and a black. Instant, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. Now, an instant speed for 3 mana, we often just get destroy target creature. So this comes with a caveat, and that's not ideal. Yes, we only have 1 black mana symbol. That makes it a bit easier to cast. But it just feels like a bit of a weaker removal. You'll draft it if you need removal, but...
Yeah. You'd prefer better. So that was the commons. Let's now look at the uncommon vampires. We have Vicious Conquistador. He's a 1/2 vampire soldier. Whenever Vicious Conquistador attacks, each opponent loses 1 life. Now, you're looking at this and you're quite happy with him.
I am very happy with this. A lot of YouTubers I'm watching talking about Ixalan are very down on this card. I'm seeing with vampires, pinging your opponent's face is a big sub-theme that's coming out of it. And for that reason, I really like Vicious Conquistador. I really do. It's a 1/2 for 1. That's something you shouldn't turn your nose up at.
Yep.
And the fact that I can ping my opponent's face... the concern is he's swinging and he's only doing 1 damage. He's squishy enough to get blocked and killed. But with things like Vampire's Zeal in your deck, you can get around that. You can use combat tricks. And the fact of the matter is he just pings your opponent's face, which is just so relevant.
Yeah.
I really like it. I really do. I like this card a lot, and I think people are hating on it too soon. And I really think with a good deck that pings my opponent's face with vampires, this is going to do a lot of work for you. Adanto's Vanguard for 1 and white is a vampire soldier, 1/1. As long as the Adanto Vanguard is attacking, it gets +2/+0. And pay 4 life to give it indestructible until end of turn as an activated ability. This is Mind Games the card.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. I mean, you go, oh no, it's 1/1 for 2. It's going to get pinged. It's going to get just nuked off the board. But I can always pay 4 life to save it. The mind games are real. And it's swinging out for a 3/1. Does your opponent try and block with a 3/3? They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. Are you going to pay 4 life? You're always going to do the thing which is better for you.
Yeah.
Either lose 4 life or lose this card. 4 life feels like a lot, but having that choice is insurance, and insurance is a big thing.
Bishop of the Bloodstained. 3 and 2 black for a 3/3 vampire cleric. When Bishop of the Bloodstained enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 1 life for each vampire you control. This is good.
It could be a nasty bomb.
Yeah.
Relies on board state, but not ridiculously so.
Yeah.
I like the idea that this could be a constant threat and could force your opponent to sweep the board sooner than they might want to.
Yeah.
And I quite like that. I quite like the presence of this card affecting the way your opponent plays. I don't know if it's good enough to do that, whether it's going to be a card that permeates the meta enough to make those mind games happen, but it feels good. I feel like we might be able to do better at 5 mana.
Yeah, 5 mana is a bit, isn't
It is. I would much prefer this to be a 4 mana card, but slightly overcosted vampire seems to be a bit of a sub-theme as well, unfortunately. Next we have Bright Reprisal. This is for 4 and a white. It's an instant, destroy target attacking creature and draw a card. Meh.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's situational. You have to wait for a creature to be attacking for it to work. The opponent might just hold their creatures back, and you're just sitting on this card that costs 5 mana. The timing's awkward.
Yep.
Drawing a card to replace is great. I don't know why it's uncommon. This should be common.
Call to the Feast. 2, a white and a black for a sorcery. Create 3 1/1 white vampire creature tokens with lifelink. That's not bad.
Yeah, this is the better version of the mass spawning card. The reason I'm not so jazzed about this is because if I'm going to go mass token spawning with vampires, I'm going to play a playset of Anointed Procession, which also costs 4 mana, and that's a bit awkward. Yeah. I don't like having both of those cards at 4 mana. Because they want to work together, I want one to curve into the other. Not them just at the same mana. It just really feels awkward when deck building.
Yeah, and then like to play a Call to the Feast and then the next turn draw Anointed Procession, you're just like...
Yeah.
You're just going to feel a bit salty at yourself.
And there's no way to ramp into Anointed Procession in that deck. I mean, if you do get it down and then the top deck Call to the Feast, you're having a great time. 6 1/1 vampires with lifelink is nothing to laugh about. But at the end of the day, that's annoying. It's annoying that there's a great card from Armankhet that supports this strategy really well, and it just is a bit clunky in this deck, just in terms of mana cost. In terms of function, it's fantastic, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That really bothers me. Deathless Ancient cost 4 and 2 black. It's a 4/4 vampire knight with flying. Tap 3 untapped vampires you control to return Deathless Ancient from your graveyard to your hand.
It's good, but it costs 6.
It costs 6. That's the clincher for me as well.
Yeah.
With lots of tokens, yeah, you can do it. Wait for your opponent to call turn, tap down the vampires, untap them and start your upkeep.
Yeah.
That feels relatively easy. I like that. But the fact that it costs 6 for a 4/4 with flying just isn't strong. It doesn't even work that well on the Flyers deck because you need vampires. So I don't really know where this card sits. I feel like for 6 mana, you should be able to do better.
Dusk Legion Dreadnought. 5 mana for a vehicle with Vigilance and Crew 2 for a 4/6. They're good stats.
They're good stats, but it's still an average vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay for draft, but in standard we have all the Kaladesh vehicles. Just not good enough, unfortunately.
Yep.
I will say I love the art in this card. Look at all the little pirate ships next to it.
Wow.
This is the ship that the vampires travel on. They travel on like massive, like Goliath ships.
Yeah.
Duskborn Sky Marcher is a 1/1 vampire cleric with flying for 1 white, and it has the activated ability white and tap. Target attacking vampire gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Now, we had a green human from the Eldritch Moon set that did the same thing, but instead of flying, it was a 1/2. I know from playing that card that this is very relevant. If you want to go aggro with your vampires, this is going to be a handy thing to have. If your opponent's playing flyers and you need a blocker, you've got it. Here it is. Not the best 1-drop in the set. I think the Vicious Conquistador is just a little bit better. However, this comboing with the Conquistador is really strong. I can swing my Vicious Conquistador, and I have a built-in combat trick that can boost him. Sign me up. It's not the best 1-drop in the set, but it's going to work well with your vampires.
Glorifier of Dusk. 3 and 2 white for a 4/4 vampire soldier. Pay 2 life. Glorifier of the Dusk gains flying until end of turn. Pay 2 life. Glorifier of the Dusk gains vigilance until end of turn. That's not bad.
Using life as a resource is a big sub-strategy with vampires right now. And I feel like having control over that, I feel like for a 5 cost, it just should be a 4/4 with flying. Make it a 4/4 with flying and just give it the second ability. And I'm completely on board. As it stands, it feels a bit clunky, but you're having a lot of lifelink, so I guess paying 2 life should not be a big issue with this deck. Inspiring Cleric is a 3/2 vampire cleric for 2 and a white. When Inspiring Cleric enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. Life gain's relevant with vampires, but I just don't think it's worth playing a 3-cost 3/2 with no other keywords just for 4 life. It's cool. I get it. You play this and you play the cards that take away life to gain advantages. I'd rather just use my lifelink tokens to gain life. It seems way more consistent.
Seeker's Squire. 1 and a black for a 1/2 human scout. When Seeker's Squire enters the battlefield, it explores.
Yeah, this is good. This to me feels like the most pushed explore card in the set.
Yeah.
Because it's a 2/3 or it's a 1/2 for 2 and you get a land.
Yeah.
And both of those feel good to me. And just in case you guys are wondering, it's in this vampire video because this is a Squire for a vampire.
I was about to say there is a vampire in the background.
I love it, just like stalking there.
Yeah.
Dusk follows, the light is the flavor text. Moving on to the rares, we have Arguel's Bloodfast. This is one of the legendary enchantments that turn into a legendary land, part of that cycle. It costs 1 and a black, and it has the activated ability, pay 1 and a black and 2 life to draw a card. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 5 or less life, you may transform Arguel's Bloodfast. It turns into Temple of Aclazots. Temple of Aclazots taps for a black mana, or tap and sacrifice a creature. You gain life equal to the sacrificed creature's toughness. I like this a lot. Again, you're using life as a resource, and that's powerful. Especially on the front side of this, you're using it to draw a card.
Yep.
Gaining card advantage is so powerful. To have it on a stick, to have it on an enchantment, good.
Yep.
Very, very solid.
No, it's a good card.
More to the point, it's another card that gives you an outlet to pay life, which is relevant because of other cards we're going to reveal very soon.
Bishop of Rebirth, 3 and 2 white for a 3/4 vampire cleric with vigilance. When a Bishop of Rebirth attacks, you may return target creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's good for standard. However, I look at this and go, for 1 more mana, I could have a giant that's a 6/6 and I can get...
You're thinking about silly old Molden again, aren't you, Justin?
I am.
I look at this in context of the set, and I love it.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, vampires attacking and pinging your opponent is important. So this attacks, it gets a bonus. Excellent. It's vulnerable when it attacks. It's a 5-drop that has to wait till the 6th turn to attack. But Vampire Zeal exists. There is one hell of a combat trick which is really helping out your vampires and keeping your opponent on your toes, not just blocking willy-nilly.
Yeah.
And it also pulls out a mana cost 3 or less vampire out of your graveyard, in fact, any creature at all, and putting it straight onto the battlefield. If you have Enter the Battlefield effects, you're having a good time. Getting back your Sky Marches, your Conquistadors, or anything like that, just getting them back on the battlefield, keeping your board presence strong is good. I really like it.
Blood-Crazed Paladin, 1 and a black for a vampire knight that is a 1/1. He has flash. Blood-Crazed Paladin enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each creature that died this turn. Yeah, survive a wrath.
Pretty much. He is the reason to be very careful with your board sweeps.
Yeah.
Basically, you sweep the board, and now your opponent has one massive creature and you have no creatures. That's a big problem.
Possibly, actually, do it yourself as well.
Yeah, you could Bontu's Last Reckoning into a Blood-Crazed Paladin.
Yeah.
If you're that ballsy, you could do that. And what I find interesting about him, in the 2-drop slot, I think he's by far the best. Possibly the only vampire you might even play in the 2-drop slot. Next, we have Conqueror's Galleon. It costs 4 mana. It's an artifact vehicle with 2/10. When Conqueror's Galleon attacks, exile it at the end of combat. Then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control, and you must crew it for 4. A bit slow and clunky for my liking. I don't like the crew for 4, but it's what it turns into that really gives it value. Conqueror's Foothold. You can tap it to add a generic mana to the pool. Cool. 2 and tap it to draw a card, then discard a card. 4 and tap it to just draw a card. 6 and tap it to return target card from your graveyard to your hand.
Wow.
Very, very versatile.
Yeah.
Sure, those are expensive abilities, but the fact that you have all of them and you have the choice is very powerful.
Very much so. This is an interesting card.
A little clunky to get to the Conqueror's Foothold, but you should be able to get them. And you're increasing the efficiency of your deck. You're pulling stuff out of your graveyard. You're making sure your hand is really working for you with this.
Yeah, definitely. Another one of these legendary enchantments that turns into a land, Legion's Landing. It is a legendary enchantment, and when it enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. When you attack with 3 or more creatures, transform Legion's Landing, and it turns into Adanto, the First Fort. You can tap it to add 1 white mana to your mana pool, and 2 and a white, tap it to create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink.
Yeah, I like that a lot. For me, this is a 3 of in any go wide vampire deck.
Yep.
Not a 4 of because it's legendary. Just got to be careful with that. You play 4 of, you're going to get 2 or 3 in your hand and just get salty.
Yeah, because it has to flip.
However, I will say though that you can play this, flip it, then play another one. That is an option. This is Maverick Fiend, Dusk Apostle for 2 and a white. He is a 2/2 vampire cleric. And he's legendary. Whenever one or more non-token vampire you control attack, create a 1/1 vampire creature token with lifelink. He doesn't like to attack himself because he's only a 2/2 for 3, which is not ideal, but...
Yeah, I feel like he needs like First Strike or something.
However, we do have Vampire Zeal, and I keep coming back to this. We have vampires that are just a tad below curve, and they want to attack. They get great things when they attack, but they're a tad below curve. That makes it difficult. This is why Vampire Zeal is so big. It's cards like this. It's cards like this. You make sure there's one white mana up, and you make sure your opponent knows that Vampire Zeal is a thing, and you make them regret it when they make a bad decision. Yeah. And that's what this is all about. Yeah, again, making 1/1 white vampire tokens over and over again is very powerful.
Yep.
It's very powerful. I like this a lot, and I think it's going to get a lot of use in the Go White decks.
We have Symptom Seeker, 2 and 2 black for a 3/4 vampire knight. Whenever a vampire you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. So still talking about that losing 1 life, gaining 1 life.
Pinging the face stuff.
Yeah.
I love this card.
Yeah, this is good.
This is the card, in my mind, that makes that deck work. This is the card that makes Vicious Conquistador work. When you attack with Vicious Conquistador, they take 2 damage and you gain 1 life.
Yeah.
It's worth losing the Vicious Conquistador over.
Yep.
I like it a lot. I really like it a lot.
I reckon you could almost put this into a nice modern deck.
You reckon?
A nice vampire modern deck?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I guess so, because you are getting value the turn it comes down, which is always important with these higher cost cards.
Yeah.
And absolutely in standard vampires, if you want to go for that sub-theme of pinging your opponent's face, this is the card that really gets it working. I like this card a lot. Not much more to say. I'm going to buy 4 of it, and I'm going to use it heaps.
Sanguine Sacrament. X and 2 white for an instant. You gain twice X life. Put Sanguine Sacrament on the bottom of its owner's library. Like, it's okay, you're gaining double the amount of
it could
life,
be, yeah, big life gain at instant speed could save you.
Yeah, but
so could a good card.
Yeah.
That's the instant, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Big life gain is interesting. Life gain, in my mind, has to be massive for it to be worth it.
Yeah.
Like, life goes on from Hour of Devastation. That was like one that made me go, ooh. I look at this and think, yeah, it could be massive, but you really are paying for it.
Yeah.
You really are. Righto, Settle the Wreckage. Super Path to Exile. Cost 2 and 2 white. It's instant. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search his library for that many basic land cards, put those cards into the battlefield tapped, then shuffle his or her library. I like it a lot. Because you're playing white. You're playing white. If you play against like an aggressive enough deck, they're going to wait for the right moment and swing at you.
Yeah.
And you're going to nuke their board. I know it's very situational, but I feel like as a sideboard card, this could be solid.
Yeah. And again, it's exiling, so it's getting rid of gods from...
Yes, it's getting rid of gods. It's getting rid of any graveyard mechanics they may have been playing around with.
Pretty playable.
Probably not in your main deck, but maybe in your sideboard.
Swordpoint Diplomacy. 2 and a black for a sorcery. Reveal the top 3 cards of your library. For each of these cards, put that card into your hand unless any opponent pays 3 life, then exile the rest.
Yeah, I was pretty down on this card when I first saw it, but again, this is why we left these videos till later on, so we could view all of the cards and not just each one in a vacuum. Pinging your opponent's face is a big sub-theme in Vampires. I keep saying that over and over again, but this is another card that capitalises on it.
Yeah.
It means that I'm pinging your face over and over again. Do you really want to pay 3 life? Do you really want to? Are you sure? I'm going to ping you in the face again. Yeah. You're going to die. And at the end of the day, it's straight up card advantage.
Yeah.
If they just go, okay, there's a creature and 2 lands, have the lands. Cool, it's card advantage. And it's 3 damage to your face.
Yeah.
That's not something to turn your nose up at.
And I mean, look, even if they're getting rid of quote-unquote best card, you're still dealing them 3 damage.
Yeah, maybe don't play this if your Symptom Seeker hasn't come out yet. Maybe just be careful about that. But at the end of the day, if you've got an okay board, just do it.
Yeah.
Just put the pressure on.
Yeah. This could be really good in a black aggro strategy.
Absolutely.
And finally, the mythics for the vampires.
Yep, we only have 2. The first is Axis of Mortality, and this is a very interesting and splashy card. Cost 4 and 2 white, it's an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, so it gets no value until it gets back to your upkeep, so that's a bit of a downside for this card. You may have 2 target players exchange life totals. This is very interesting. This is very interesting. And this is one big reason why I waited to do this review. Because life as a resource is a huge sub-theme amongst these vampires. You can control your life total. You have ways of gaining life and you have ways of losing life. And suddenly you have ways of switching life with your opponent.
Yeah.
It's kind of scary. You play this, you wait till your opponent calls turn, you use one of your free pay life outlets, which I think there's 2 or 3. You ping yourself down, 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 down. Don't go too far in case your opponent burns your face. You will die. Don't do that.
That's bad.
But go down the right amount so your opponent can't kill you right at the end of your turn. You are left with, like, say, 5 or 6 life. Your opponent's on 20 life. And then switch life totals.
Yep.
And then win the game the next turn.
Yep. And they will feel salty.
And
you will feel good.
Now, the problem with that is it's a 6-drop, no immediate value, and it needs the build around, and it relies on board state.
Yeah.
And that's too much going against it.
And also, like, there is a lot of enchantment hate.
Pretty much. And for that reason, I don't think this is going to permeate into standard too hard. But I want to make that work. I think about that and I think, yes, that is dirty. That is dirty and I like it. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. This is an amazing card in Commander. But switching your life with your opponent is just something that's so splashy and so huge, we just can't ignore that.
And finally, we have Vonna, Butcher of Magan. 3...
That's a cool name.
3, a white and a black for a 4/4 legendary vampire knight. He has vigilance and lifelink. Tap, pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only during your turn. I'm left disappointed with this card.
Yeah, me too. I was looking at this thinking, oh yeah, I can just ping my opponent's board down with several things, bring my life total down, and then swing it back with Access and Mortality. No, you have to tap her, or him, we're not quite sure on that, to use that ability.
Yeah.
It only works once per turn, and that hurts. And only on your turn, so you can't react to the end of your opponent's turn by doing this.
The other problem is it's destroy target non-land permanent, which means that the gods stay alive. I keep talking about them just simply because
no,
they're so important in Standard right now.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you're not hitting the legendary lands either.
No.
And you're tapping it, and you only activate it during a turn. That's too many caveats. Too many caveats. If this didn't have tap and could be done at instant speed, bam. Awesome card. Yes, there's a lot of stuff you can do with it. It's versatile. It'll help you with your vampires. Life is a resource. I get that.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's too many caveats on this, and that's just such a shame because this could have been such an interesting card. I just don't think it's worked out.
Yeah. I think tap, pay 7 life, exile target non-land permanent. Fine.
Yes, exactly. Basically, both of us see there are caveats. Let's remove the caveats, then this is good.
Yeah.
As it is. It's a 5-cost 4/4 with Vigilance Lifelink. That's okay. But I want that activated ability to be better.
Yeah.
For it to be mythic, that's what you got to do.
Yeah. And also, this is the first white-black vampire for Commander.
That's right.
So this is kind of cool. It's good in that.
And it's really disappointing that this is the only mythic vampire we're getting. And it's just frankly not playable in our opinion. We might be wrong.
Yeah.
We've been wrong in the past, but yeah.
Prove us wrong, but until then, I'm right and I win.
That's the way. That's the way. Anyway, that is all the vampire cards in Ixalan. Stay tuned for Merfolks. One more tribe left. We will catch you in the next video.
Bye.